Good afternoon. This is Chris Robinson, Robinson Ag Marketing, with the Friday, July 25th afternoon report. It's got to get right to it. It's a red day in the grains. You've got corn down. New crop corn is down 3 cents, trading at 417 and three quarters. Everybody's in concern. Are we going to go take out that contract low at 407 and a half? We are a dime away. For the week, if you look at the weekly change, where we settled last week, where we're trading right now, we're down a dime. Uh, New crop soybeans down 5 cents, trading at 1019 and a half. Down about 15 cents on the week there. That's the weekly move for November beans. And if you look at September Chicago wheat, down almost 7 cents, trading at 534 and three quarters. That contract's also down a dime for the week. Not finished in the way that any bulls certainly wanted to here for the next to the last week in July. I'm looking at the Minneapolis Spring Wheat 2. That's lower on the day. If we look at March, Minneapolis, actually, East Minneapolis, slightly higher. That's the one green I can see on the screen other than the livestock market. So at the end of the day, what are we doing? Well, for the past week or two, I've been talking about with clients trying to protect at minimum 410. You can do 420. In my letter this morning, I talked about doing 420, 410s, 415s and protecting that for the next 60 days using October options. If you look at new crop soybeans, we would at least want to protect $10 beans. We're trading at 10.20. Beans, I can't throw the towel in yet on the beans. Beans are made in August. We'll see if we get some sort of an issue. Beans hanging in here at 10.20 is a big level. It is the midpoint of all available prices during 2025. We traded down actually in December as low as 961, and then we were up around 1075 twice in 2025. You take the halfway point of there, it's 1017, which is basically where we're sitting right now. It's kind of that good news, bad news. I would still make sure if I'm have unprotected soybeans that we've got $10 covered, because I don't want to be talking to people at harvest if soybeans happen to be down at 960 again and saying, well, we could have done something back here for a dime, but we didn't. And all the recommendations that I've made lately have been, 13 cents to 10 cents. You can do stuff for a week or two, but you can do 2 months worth of protection in corn for a dime. You can do a $10 floor for 30 days in beans for about a dime. So it's not like you're getting aggressively bearish. You are defending revenue. And I've seen this before. The market grinds slow. It's grind slow, grind slow. And it kind of lulls people into doing nothing. And you can wake up a month from now and be like, how did that happen? And it's just a grinding lower market. We haven't had a market like this in a long time. The fundamental reasons, obviously, you can get into that all you want. But I think that if I'm a producer, I'm going to defend what I'm able to defend and hope that we get a recovery. That's the way I would leave it. If you look at livestock, we've got cattle on feed here on the close today. August fat cattle are up about 60 cents, trading 226.50. You've got August feeder cattle back above 330, trading at 331 and change. The high was 331.30. I'm the big believer that if August feeders take out 334, that opens up the door to more people piling on board that long bet in cattle. The cash market holds in. The American consumer continues to pay $14.50, 14 or 15 bucks for a steak per pound, even at the grocery store. Not to mention what you pay if you go out to dinner. And that market again has been just on fire and continue to rally. We're up. I think it's like $20 in the past, $18 in the past 14 days in feeders. Just incredible, continuing to grind higher. So it's been a market if you're a producer. It's been a market for puts if you needed protection. You buy a put, you get a floor, and you keep the upside open. If you sell futures, you get a floor, but you open yourself up to margin calls if the cash price continues to rally. And I'm not telling anybody out there anything they don't know, because if you've been short futures in cattle for the past, doesn't matter if it's been short for the past 10 days or the past 10 months, you've made margin calls. Flipping over to the hogs, it looks like there's a little bit of spreading here as people bought cattle and sold hogs. Not a lot of selling in cattle. You go out to the deferred. I'm looking at April of next year. We're still hovering on that 88 cent level. I think that if we can get through Monday with no issues, I would not be surprised to see April go back up there and retest the contract high at 90 cents. We were just there um, in the middle of June. So that's what I'm looking at. A disappointing market in the grain, no two ways about it. If you're producing or listening to me, and if you um, are concerned about, what do you do to stop the bleeding, give me a call. You don't have to spend a fortune for these defensive puts, and it may make you help. It may help you sleep better at night. We're at 417 and three quarters now. I guarantee you, if we take out 407, that'll be a new contract low, and you'll see people get very very upset. I would much rather see you buy a cheap put and stop the bleeding here and stay in position that if we did get a rally to 440 or 450 or the insurance price at 470, then we can sell it then. What I don't want is to sit here and watch 417 corn turn into 407 corn, turn into 395 corn, turn into wherever we find the bottom. So I wish there was a different strategy, a better strategy, but I think that's the best way to go. And maybe you don't do 100% of your production. Maybe you do a third, get something on. But I'm a big believer in this market keeps grinding lower. It's kind of like that old story where you put a frog in a pan of water and gradually turn the heat up, and that's kind of what's been happening here. Not only for the past year, but for the past 3 years. We've just been grinding lower in the grains since for the past 3 years. So that's about it. It's Chris Robinson. Give me a call, 312-638-8868. Look me up online. We will do an end of day discussion. And then if you're interested, we will do about a 15 or 20-minute podcast this weekend. Looking forward to doing that. This is Chris Robinson. Have a great rest of the day and a great weekend.